or innuendos that's been floating around about zoning and things like that. City council is not going to be taking any action tonight or in the near future on any zoning issues that are floating around. We need to elect the mayor first, give the mayor some time to absorb everything, listen to what the public has to say, and then the committee will get together. They will bring their recommendations to the city council as a whole, and then we'll vote on what needs to be done for the betterment of the community. Okay, just to put that out there. All right? Yes, sir.
You said you were gonna elect a mayor? Appoint one, right?
The hope is we're gonna appoint a mayor.
Right, okay.
Yes. So when you do stand up, just mention your name and your address. We have to get ready for January. Yes, sir.
For the record, I'm Greg Hinkle, former state senator. I'm glad you clarified just exactly what's going on with this whole issue. But I'm really just to make a point that, I'm sure that every single person in this room has looked around, see what's going on in the rest of the world. And we're very grateful that we live in Sanders County. I don't care who you are, what you think, what your background is, that doesn't matter. We live in a bubble. That's what it amounts to, and I'm sure every person in this room can say the same thing. And I know that my wife and I are extremely grateful that we do. I would just like to put out there that we don't need to be making any changes to Sanders County. Let's leave it the wonderful place that we've got to stay in. We don't need those changes. I mean, every single one of us, we love our community. Quite frankly, Thompson Falls, in our view, is one of the most picturesque towns in the state of Montana. And you can thank that for the people who live here, who keep it clean, and their businesses and so on. I mean, we're all working together, really, what it amounts to. So I really encourage the council, when the time comes, that you work to maintain the status quo for now. Because the rest of the world is going in a path that I'm sure none of us want to follow.
Thank you.
Just did.
Jake Suzik, 1206 Haley Street. I've been asked by some individuals to speak up concerning the orchard. I know we had a meeting and the community spoke pretty definitely, loud and clear, about what they want done with the orchard. I want to give a huge shout out to Shawnee Vaught. I didn't really know who my ward person was. I'm fairly new at this, so I called Shawnee. Shawnee and I had a good rapport and we talked. And she assured me the gist of our conversation was, as far as the housing consideration on the orchard, that it would take an act of Congress to make that happen. But for further research, back in 2018, there was a farm bill that was introduced that would allow the Forest Service to use administrative sites, and that is what the orchard is classified as, for affordable housing and for development type issues. That expired this last September, we found out, and from my knowledge of the bill, it's actually before the House of Representatives again to get passed. In all likelihood, it will be passed. And with moving forward with the Canusa group, I would just, and I thank you, Ralph, for clearing up that we're not going to make any changes, but I would like this to be put out there as a suggestion that I would really like to see the council put forth a memo or something moving forward with the Canusa group that says that specifically the housing or any kind of permanent structures up there or anything like that is completely off the table.
Yeah.
I would like to see the community has spoken. That meeting was unanimously against having any kind of permanent dwelling up there or permanent anything up there. And so I would just like to see the council really pen that out and really back the community members. I'm not saying you don't, but I'm just saying that I would like to see that in writing moving forward, saying that specifically is off the table. If we want to do the harvesting the timber and maybe do some trails or whatever we had talked about in that group. But I would just like to see you guys really pen something forth moving forward, saying the community is not for that. Because let's face it, people come, people go. And this may be 10 years out or whatever, but I believe we need that in the minutes. We need that on the council moving forward with whatever's going to happen in the orchard. So, thank you.
Thank you. Just to answer that again. The council is in a listening mode. We really can't take any action, but I
And
will
that's,
make
and I
you know.
I just wanted to bring it out there and
I
lay it out.
appreciate that. Yes.
Just real quick, a question for you. When's the mayor,
Your name and address.
Lorley
please?
Cavilier, Trout Creek, when's the mayor appointment gonna take place? When's the interviews and
The
everything?
interviews are gonna happen tonight, and hopefully, we'll be able to, that will be satisfied this
Okay.
evening.
Thank you.
Peggy B, Thompson Falls. I'd like to add a little bit to this bill that he mentioned. A co-sponsor of this bill is Senator Gaines. So that brings it really close to home that this is what he is thinking. And I want to read to you what Senator Gaines said. As our state continues to grow, housing is becoming more expensive and harder to find, especially in our rural and gateway communities. This bipartisan bill will help Montana communities partner with the Forest Service to create affordable housing. And if you look at this bill, that's what they constantly talk about is affordable housing. A community in Colorado has already signed on to do this.
The bill number, is it on there?
I have the name of it. I can get the number for you.
I would appreciate that.
Okay.
Affordable housing is different from low income housing. I don't think she realizes
This
that.
Colorado community is doing it, and they hosted people from Congress from all over, and it says they came from Missouri and Montana and everywhere. So we are well in the scope of this, and this property fits that description of this bill very well because it's unutilized property. And so it fits perfectly. And I know we're being told we're not gonna do housing, but it concerns us. And that is why we would hope that you would consider rezoning this. And I think it would put a lot of fears at ease. The bill is called Forest Service Flexible Housing Partnerships Act. And it was in the Farm Act of 2018, but they could only lease it for 50 years. And no one was taking advantage of that sort of a lease. This new bill leases it for 100 years and is renewable.
There's a big fight here.
I am Cindy Bronner, and I live at 93 Cherry Creek Road. I am the face to the petition.
Thank you.
So I just heard about the mule pasture, orchard/mule pasture on Sanders County 411. Thank you, Sanders County 411. And so I came into this arena just 2 weeks ago, and I hit it hard and I hit it fast. And I've talked to a lot of people. And we came unified as a community, as county taxpayers. And we can't have division between city and county because it's the county that helps support the city with their tax dollars. And I want to say kudos to all of you and the 444 signatures climbing. And this is what I have to say to you, is that county taxpayers of Sanders County and 59873 zip code are submitting 444 signatures, and it's climbing. Signatures to the Thompson, there's another one. I was late because I was busy photocopying as they were texting and emailing me. Signatures to the Thompson Falls City Council Board to change the orchard and mule pasture land that was zoned and dated July 2022, map enclosed, from residential A to rural recreational. I'm just keeping it super simple, or so, let's say stupid simple, okay? We, the county taxpayers, are keenly interested in the zoning process and would like to stay informed about upcoming zoning committee meetings. I have heard that there's a email list to notify individuals about the schedule and location of those meetings. I would appreciate it if you could add my email address to the list. Please keep me informed of the details for the next zoning meeting committee, so I can let all of you know when it is. This is called unity.
And community, unity of community.
I like that. I'm gonna do that.
Absolutely.
So I would say one thing that will help the city council with that is on your sign-in sheet.
Yes.
Everybody that signed in, put a check next to that, or put an email in there so we can locate you.
Perfect. There you go.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
I am Rob Clark. I am a citizen of Thompson Falls. And, I reiterate what everybody else has been saying. Yes, this is a wonderful bubble that we live in. And that's one of the reasons we moved here, to get away from all that pollution and all that other garbage that's going on out there. And that we can together live as community in community with one another, united in all these things. Because that's, if we're not united, we're disunited. And we're in chaos and we're all these other things that are not right. So we need to stand together. So, and what I'd like to do is reiterate some of the zone things that these guys are talking about. If that would be okay? Go over 5 quick points here. 1. Recently, there have been surveys, meetings about what to do with property under the Forest Service management known as the orchard, which I think most of us are familiar with, and I believe probably most of us, that's the reason we're here, other than the appointment of the mayor. And number 2, it has been presented to the community that this property could be a good resource for multi-use recreational activities. And number 3, there is a major concern that the housing could be an option at some point, since the orchard is currently, as we know, or it is on the map that we've seen, that it is zoned as residential. And you guys know what that means when something is zoned as residential, correct? Yes. Versus recreational. So, and number 4, our question is, if the only activities being considered are recreational, why then is the orchard zoned residential?
Good question.
That's what we would like to know. So, and the bottom line, number 5, is that the true goal of the orchard project is to develop recreational activities, it needs to be zoned recreational, not residential. And in conclusion, we the citizens of Thompson Falls in Sanders County do not want housing in this piece of land called the orchard.
No.
You know what it'll do.
Or the meal pack.
Yes. Well, they're working the orchard first, but that's. Anyway. So thank you all for listening. And
mark sheets, and with this, a member of the planning board went to the meeting at the courthouse with the county commissioners, Catherine was there, over the first relicensing for Northwestern Energy. And I know it's been proposed for 3 commitments, because Northwestern Energy has to have administrative control of the lands within the boundaries for the first relicensing. And one of them is in the Power Park, in which the city has, where Pond Street comes through the park there, has control of that. They want an easement for it. And I just wanted to, remind the council, be thanking them the easement, that the utility through there in phase 3 of the sewer is to replacing the old clay sewer pipe that's in there that we have a real problem with root infiltration and everything, to make sure that there's plenty of room in there, an easement into there for the city to access that for utilities into it. The other easement was for the end of Gallatin Street from, I think, like their parking lot down, which I don't know if there's any utilities in that. There'd be something to make sure there's utilities there. The other easement that they were looking for is for the city-owned portion of Wild Goose Landing Park. And onto it, what they'd like to do is negotiate the maintenance of that with another entity rather than them take the maintenance on themselves. And with this, the maintenance would have to be the FERC standards, and the FERC would come in at times and cost. Currently, the city does work with Northwestern Energy doing the maintenance down at the park, and if the city is doing it, Northwestern Energy gives a little over $11,000 a year for that. Last time, they wanted an itemized listing of costs and everything for that. And after doing the listings and everything out, it cost a little over $21,000 actually to do the maintenance down there along the park for a year, so they don't even cover it. With this, I asked them, what if the city didn't enter an agreement with them and just let them take over the maintenance? And so they prefer not to do that, but they would have to do that. And with that, and actually I think would be in the city's best interest to let them do the maintenance and everything onto there just because of the extra cost that would be present on there. Plus the city could gain some revenue for water and sewer because Northwestern Energy would then have to be paying for water and sewer onto that, plus the electricity for operating there. So those I know that are coming up soon. They want to have their application turned into FERC by the 31st of December. So I expect next council meeting, the easements will come. I just want to report that from what I heard and just give my 2 cents. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
And I found out last Sunday that my property that I've lived on since 1963, and my parents left me 59 acres. I had to be annexed into the city for water, and I understood that. And I did 4 acres, 4.31 to be exact. And I kind of got a buck feeling last Monday in the office of the city. And yes, I didn't go to the zoning meetings I didn't know of. And I've learned a lot better how to catch up on where to find it. You know, it's like Easter egg hunting. But so I'm clued in. But here's the deal. I found out Sunday that my whole 69 acres is zoned commercial B. And I asked them, well, can I still hunt on my land? Can I help my disabled sister and brother-in-law put food on their table? I don't think you can hunt on residential land. This was my heritage. This was, my folks worked hard, and I can't get a straight answer from anybody. I looked at the zoning map at the and I wrote, you know, I printed out the stuff on the internet at the city site about residential B, and it's really vague about stuff like that. And it says that zoning map would be displayed in the city office for reference. Well, it's been leaning against the wall on the floor since I've been zoned in. They said since August of 22. I didn't know that, and I asked if they couldn't have said something, but I guess they couldn't. I'm in there once a month paying the water bill. And it's just like this sewer thing, you know. They told me I wasn't going to be on the sewer, and I wasn't going to be on the sewer, and that come from the mayor and the help down there. And then one day I went in to pay my bill and went, oh, by the way, you're going to be on the sewer. And it's like, well, I didn't get to go to any of the meetings or anything. And so then I found this out, that my property is zoned, and I'm just trying to find out, is it a mistake or is it truly zoned? Taking away my rights. Taking away my family traits. I don't know, I got a lot of questions, and I don't mean, I know you said we ain't gonna talk about zoning, but I didn't know that till I showed up and signed the door, so I haven't had a lot of sleep since a week ago, and it's really unnerving to me to not know. So, that's all I got.
The rules kind of change as you go along here. You have to hook up to the water if you're within 500 feet of the city. And if you hook up to the water, now they say they have permission to annex you in, the trap you're in, right? With that thinking, Thompson Falls could go to Mexico. There's nothing stopping them from going wherever they want. That can't be legal. Just think about it, Raul. Just tonight it'll come through.
Thompson Falls could go to Mexico. I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, figure it out. You get it?
Yeah, we understand.
You annex one and the line goes out. You annex the next one, the line goes out. You annex the next one, the line goes out.
It's a domino effect.
Until you're in Mexico.
It's just a land grab.
Pretty simple.
Yep.
And the waters, are you still on rationing? Does anybody even know?
We're not. We haven't been for a while.
This year?
Yes, for this year, we haven't been for a while.
All right. Well, that's good. And one other meeting I went to, two of them. One was, I think, Karen from the engineer for the,
Karen.
she said, Carrie? Said 45 to 55% of your water never reaches its destination, right?
I don't know what you said.
You weren't at that meeting, I shouldn't ask you that.
Roughly.
She is here tonight. You could clarify that if you.
That's cool. Is that true?
There was an estimate, one is down to my head around 35 to 40%.
Okay, so I just read what was written, so.
Yeah, so it's,
Okay. And then we got members on the fire
Upgrade
department.
our water lines, wouldn't you think?
What's that?
That's a good reason to upgrade our water lines, wouldn't you think?
How would you ever find those leaks?
By upgrading the water lines, by putting in replacements for the lines that are, root, tangled.
Shawnee made a
things like
comment
that.
one time, she's on the fire department for a few years, 20 years or something, I think.
23.
And you knew which hydrants to hook up to and which ones not to.
There was some that had a lot of pressure, some that did not.
Right, tells me there's a leak there.
We had, just recently, we had a leak, I was going up Church Street, and there was a line broke on Church Street. And there was water running out everywhere.
But when you have knowledge of something, share it with them.